Hello, I hope I'm in focus and I hope this is all recording. This is the first time I've used something, recording my screen and my face and my microphone. I'm just like PewDiePie or Jack or Mark or whoever, but I, like them, am also doing the 16 personalities quiz. I don't like using not using people's ideas, but doing similar things to other people. But this one actually interested me. And I have thought about doing personality tests in the past, but I didn't know about 16 personalities, which, if you didn't know, is a website where you get questions about situations in life or how you are as a person. And at the end, it tells you what type of person you are, so like an explorer, a leader, a sheep. I don't know. I can't remember what the options are. I'll have a look in a minute. This one is apparently, it says freakishly accurate, so I think it might be scientific. I don't know. Let's just get into this. It's going to be a long video. If I can record it properly, I don't know. And hopefully I won't lose any footage, which I often do. Let's go for it. And I'm going to be wearing my glasses because I'm reading, and I have glasses for reading, if you didn't know, which are really, really dirty. I'll do, whatever. Yeah, let's get on with this. Let's take the test, please. Okay, so it's a free personality test. Less than 12 minutes, all this stuff. Okay. So, you find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. I assume it means new people because it says introduce, so that's like a first time thing. I do find it difficult because I'm out of practice and I'm just anxious all the time. So I'm going to put, not really strongly agree, but not agree. You know what I mean? I don't know. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. Quite a lot, yes. I start listening to someone. It makes me sound terrible. And then sometimes I just zone out, and then I come back at the end of the conversation and I'm like, sorry, what? Or I just nervously laugh when I don't hear people because I'm also slightly deaf. So, and I do have a lot of thoughts. So I'm going to say the middle one again. This is not great. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. I'm going to say yeah. I'm in the middle one again. Why am I always in the same thing? I don't know. You find it easy to stay relaxed and focused even when there is some pressure. Well, if there's pressure, surely everyone's a bit like, oh god. But I don't find it really hard. But I don't find it a little bit hard. That one, I think. I keep moving the screen, sorry. You do not usually initiate conversations. Yeah. No, I'm terrible at that. You rarely do something just out of sheer curiosity. Now this one, by the way, you have to bear with me, I'm bad with words. I'm not a wordy person, and as a child, I didn't read much or have a wide vocabulary, so I don't still know many words. So I rarely do something, so I don't do things because I'm curious about them. Does that mean that I'm not very, like, stable? That's not really the right word, but, like, I have to have a bit of a plan. I don't just dive in because I'm curious. I think that's what it means. So I have the temptation to do things out of curiosity, but I rarely do them, so I don't know if that's going to be that way or that way. I'm going to say I do like having other plans and stuff. So I'm going to slightly agree. Next page, please. You feel superior to other people. No, not at all. Not because I don't have confidence, but just because I don't like making other people feel like I think I'm a big man. So I'm going to strongly disagree with that one. Being organised is more important to you than being adaptable. I do like a good plan. But then I feel in life that I have to be adaptable in some ways, especially on YouTube. But I do plan out videos quite a lot. It depends on the video. This one I haven't really planned out as far as just going, I'm going to do this because this looks fun and interesting and people might want to learn more about me and I might want to learn more about me. So I say it is important to be organised, but you do sometimes have to be adaptable. You are usually highly motivated and energetic. Depends on the situation. In like normal everyday boring tasks, not really, but if something that interests me, then I'm more likely to be motivated and energetic, or something that I'm confident in doing. So I'm going to put slightly agree. Winning a debate matters less than what? Start that again. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. I hate it when people get upset, and I'm one of those people that's always trying to do best for other people. But there's sometimes that makes me want to debate more because I think it's going to benefit that person in the future. I would say yes, but not whoa yes. Sometimes you need to be in a debate to improve people's lives, including yourself, and to make people more aware and happy in the future, if you sort of know what I mean. Next one. You often feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. Yeah, quite a lot. Daniela always tells me off for justifying myself too much when she's like, yeah, I know what you mean. You don't have to say and explain what your thought process was and stuff. So, I don't feel as if I have to, but I do a lot. Subconsciously, I think. Without really realising. So I'm going to say yes slightly. Your home and work environments are quite tidy. I don't know if you can see my bed in this shot today, because you usually can when I'm at this angle. But I don't make my bed, just because I'm going to get back in it, and it's my bed. My desk usually is really dirty, but I've been really good recently at not letting it get dirty. So I like to be in a tidy place, but whether they are or not is a different thing. So I'm going to say slightly agree, especially recently. You do not mind being at the centre of attention. Oh, no. I'd quite like to be that person, but whether I mind it or not when I'm actually there, I'm going to say like middle disagree. You consider yourself more practical than creative. Although I do creative things, and I do want to be a camera operator, I'm not very creative in terms of coming up with ideas, and in terms of, I don't know, I'm quite practical in my creativity. That doesn't really make sense. But I have methods of doing things and sort of procedures of thinking about things and doing things creatively. So I say I slightly am more practical than creative. People can rarely upset you. I'm one of those people who doesn't get upset for long, I don't think. Things do upset me, but then I recover quite well from it usually. Depends on how much I'm upset and what type of upset, you know. But words, especially since doing YouTube, don't get to me as much, because as I said in my bullying video, if you haven't watched that, it was my last video, I said I've got to the F it stage where I just think, you know what, stuff you. I'm just going to do this because I want to do it. And you saying mean things isn't really going to stop me. It might make me reconsider and become a better person, because that's how you grow, but it's not going to upset me and ruin my day, you know? So I'm going to say yes, but not strongly yes. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. I think mostly because I don't like things going wrong. I am an over planner when it comes to travelling, especially because I think a lot can go wrong. There's a lot of variables. So I do quite like to be well thought out in terms of money, timings, locations, all that sort of stuff. And I don't like being late. So I'd say they are well thought out, but I'm not over picky, because I do keep in mind that things can go wrong, and if they do go wrong, I don't want it to completely throw me. So yeah, I'd say agree, but not really strongly. It is often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. I think I'm a really, really, really empathetic person, mostly because I don't like people being upset. But it says in terms of relating to it. I'd say no, I don't find it difficult. Yeah, I don't find it difficult. I've got nothing else to add to that. I'm going to say completely no, strongly no. Your mood can change very quickly. Well, it depends on whether I'm going from happy to sad or sad to happy or angry to whatever. It depends on what moods I'm going from. I don't know. Because I am a very happy person when I'm comfortable. So I'm going to say yes, a little bit. Because I am an angsty teen. I'm not. Well, I'm a teen. Whatever. Moving on. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. Sometimes people need truths. Or what you think. Your opinions, not necessarily facts. But to be forward with people. But then you've also got to take into account people's sensitivities, because if they're really upset or really... You've got to assess the situation. If they're really, really bad, then you shouldn't just spout out truth. It should be a mix of, here's the truth, but you're an important person, so you should make sure you're happy before you do what I suggest, sort of thing. So, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. I think sometimes it does. So I'm going to disagree, because usually I do worry about, I want to consider people's feelings more and sensitivities more. So I'm going to slightly disagree. You rarely worry about how your actions affect other people. No, because I'm always thinking about others. I'm too nice. That's what I say. I'm too nice. And sometimes it's a downfall, but then it's also good because I'm a nice person, I think, because of that. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than to a methodical, organised approach. Well, depends if I like it or not, but when I was doing my film review, which will be up soon, I said, what? When I was editing especially, because I'm not an editor, I get really focused into something, I go into hyperfocus, and then I get lots of work done, and then I procrastinate, and then I do again. So I'm more like a bit up and down with concentration, but I think that's how I work and how I best work, and it's giving myself an opportunity to not overwork myself, but not underwork myself, because then I won't get the deadline done. So I'm going to say agree, but not massively agree, just a little bit. You are often envious of others. I think everyone naturally is, even on the scale of that person's got an ice cream, I wish I had an ice cream. If you know what I mean? I don't know where that example came from. But I say I am, but that makes me strive for things a bit more, because I think you need that in order to have some sort of degree of success to give you that determination. But I'm not an asshole about it. Does that make sense? I don't know. But I'm going to slightly agree. Next, an interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. I don't read. I don't play games. I watch YouTube, so I'm going to say no, I don't know. But then social events. I love social events, but only when I'm with people who I'm comfortable with, which at the moment's hardly anyone. But I do like a good social event. It depends on how social it is and what type of social event. Like, if everyone's getting drunk at someone's house that I don't know, I won't go to it, because A, I don't drink, and B, I feel uncomfortable in that situation with people who are a bit more sporadic than they would be. That's a big word for me. I'm going to say yes, slightly agree. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. I think it is important, but whether I do it or not. But it's asking, is it important? So I think it is important to have a plan. It's the and stick to it bit that's a bit... Like, I love it if I could stick to it, but you can't necessarily always stick to it. I'm gonna say a little bit again. Oops, sorry, I just put my taskbar up on the screen. My bad. Next. You rarely get carried away by fantasies and ideas. I'm one of these people who plays out conversations in my head. Does that count as fantasies, or does it mean like dreams type fantasies? Not recreating something in your head. I'm gonna say, well, creatively, not really. But then I do when I'm with friends who are also passionate about that. I'm gonna say a little bit agree again. I got to stop choosing that option because I always do. You often find yourself lost in thought when you're walking in nature. Yes, because I'm trying not to realise that I'm outside where there's people and I might be in situations that I don't like. So I sometimes like to zone out, but then sometimes I'm worrying about something in particular so much that I can't lose myself. So I'm going to say slightly disagree. If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong. I think I used to, but then Daniela and Gemma, my two closest friends, say they don't respond a lot, not because I said something wrong, but because they're just busy people and they're not necessarily always by their phone. So I know that's text, not email, but email's sort of the same thing. It depends on what. If there's something like businessy that no one replies, I'm like, oh wait, did I offend you? Did I like say something wrong and you don't like me anymore? So I'm gonna say slightly disagree, because not really. I'm just like, well, they don't have time. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. In my mind, kindness is great, and then smart's the bonus, the level of intelligence. But I'd like to think my children would have both. But with what I'd rather see kindness. So I'm going to put middle agree. Because kindness can get you far in life, as well as brains. Like, it might take you a while to get going if you don't have the brains, but eventually you'll know people, and then people will trust you, and then you'll be a great person and do great things eventually. Anyway, next. You do not let other people influence your actions. Right. Talking about YouTube, I do, because I want people to not like me, but like my content and like the things that I say, because I am making videos for myself, but I'm also partly making videos for the people who want to watch so that they can be happy. Like, my ultimate goal is to get lots of subscribers and views just so that I can have more of an influence in the world. So in order to be an influence, you need people to influence you a little bit so you know what people want. But then if I'm really set in something, not many people are going to influence me, especially when talking about negative things. When people go, oh, you suck, I'll be like, well, I really want to do this. So like I said, the effort stage, I'm going to do it. So, it's you do not let other people influence. I'm going to slightly agree again, because it depends on the situation. Your dreams tend to focus on the real world and its events. Not really, no. So, middle disagree. That's an easy one. It does not take you much time to start getting involved in social activities at your new workplace. Well, I've never had a job, but if I was to put myself in that situation, I reckon once I get into my system, especially if it's a system-based work thing. See, it says getting involved in social activities. Does that mean, oh, do you want to go out for a drink? And I'll be like, alright. Or does that mean just talking on the level of just getting involved? So if someone says, oh, here's an idea about how we can improve our work, I'll be like, hey, alright. But it says social activity, so I think that's like going for a beer or whatever, which I don't drink, but you know what I mean, going for a lemonade. Yeah, tiny bit agree. I mean, it depends if I hate the people or not, but usually yes, I'd like to think so. Okay, so my camera stopped recording for a tiny bit. Don't know how long. So let's carry on. Whatever. You're more of a natural improviser than a careful planner. I would say when it comes to projects that aren't YouTube, that are film projects, in college I was taught to be a really careful planner and to have loads and loads and loads of contingency plans and do loads of risk assessing and all these like backup plans. So I would say I'm more of a careful planner, so I'm going to middle disagree. I hit that loud. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I am quite an emotional person, especially in terms of worry. Not in terms of sadness. I rarely cry, especially at things like films. So I'm not very... My emotions aren't very manipulative. You can't really manipulate... Wow. My emotions easily. So I think I control my emotions more. But I'm still... Once I lose it and go... I have a breakdown... I'm not very good at coming back from it quickly when it's extreme emotion. So I'm going to slightly disagree. That's what I'm going to do. That's my decision. I've made it. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress-up or role-play activities. I went to Comic-Con last year, the Bristol one, not the massive ones. And I'm going this year. And I'm dressing up this year probably, maybe, if I can find a cheap enough outfit. Or if I have a job or whatever, it depends on the money stuff. And I do like the idea of it. I've never done it, but I would go to events where I'm dressed up because I think it breaks the ice more and everyone feels a bit silly, so they're more likely to not be uptight or someone who's reserved, you know? I don't know. It just makes me feel more comfortable if everyone's dressed up. So I'm going to say slightly agree, because I haven't done many of them. But that might change once I get into the swing of doing them. I don't know. You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet intriguing ideas. I'm very realistic. So... Don't know what accent that was, so... Often spend time exploring. No. I'm gonna go middle no. Boop. You would rather improvise than spend time coming up with a detailed plan. That's similar to some other questions from before. So, although it does take a lot of time, I like to take my time and plan. I use, there's even some here, loads and loads of post-it notes. Have I got one that's not very spoilery here? Yeah, look, this one says, make sing review thumbnail, which is the review that's coming out soon, hopefully. So I use a lot for that, for YouTube work. But then in life, I still like a plan. So I'm going to disagree quite strongly, but sometimes you do need to improvise, so... But I'd rather have a plan. You are a relatively reserved and quiet person. Initially, yes. Until I'm comfortable, like I said before, I'm a bubbly person when I'm comfortable, but although it doesn't take me long to get into that comfortable stage usually, I'm not after a... So I'm going to slightly agree. That's what I'm going to do. If you had a business, you would find it very difficult to fire loyal but underperforming employees. Yes, because I care too much. But then I also care about other people, especially if there's something to do with being in a team with business people. I don't like it when myself, in like school projects, and you do all the work and then they don't. So it depends on that. If the other team are going to be annoyed or be affected by it, I care about them as well. So I would find it a bit difficult, but then I'd convince myself that I need to do it for other people. You know what I mean? You often contemplate the reason for human existence. No, not really. No, not at all. No, I'm not down as not on fire. So, logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. I am quite logical, but then again, I also care a lot about people. So, I'm gonna slightly agree. Slightly. No, slightly disagree. It's between slightly agree and slightly disagree. I don't want to pick central because it says refrain from doing that. So, I'm gonna slightly agree. Whether in that situation I'd actually use logic or not, in the moment, I don't know, but thinking about it, logic is good. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. I love a to-do list. I love a good list. I love, like I said, post-it notes. I love a good post-it that says short things, because there's something satisfying about having something on a post-it note and then ripping off that post-it note and shoving it in the bin, and you're like, yes, I've done this tiny thing. I did it. Or a good old tick. It's so satisfying. That is the lamest thing I've said this video. So, no, I don't think it is. But then sometimes you need it again. So I'm going to middle disagree. If your friend is sad about something, I'm going to care, you are more likely to offer emotional support and suggest ways to deal with the problem. Now, recently, Daniela messaged me. Well, she wasn't sad about it, but she was a bit concerned about it. I'm not going to go into detail. She's basically lending money to one of her friends. It's fine. It's not a lot of money. She can sort of afford it. But she was saying, if he asks for any more, I'm not going to be able to. And that's going to make me sad because I can't afford bus stuff and clothes and food and stuff. So I was like, I usually suggest ways to deal with the problem and then say, because I care, I think you should do this because it'll make you happier and it'll make the situation better and stop it from escalating. But then if they're really, really sad, like it says here, then I will offer emotional support as well. I think you need a bit of both. Which one do I do more though? Emotional support or ways? I'm more of a, I'm really good at giving advice. I'm not just saying that. People have told me that. So I think I'm more suggest ways to deal with it because I care, and I let them know it's because I care. Anyways, next. You rarely feel insecure. Woo! Okay. Not so... In the things that I'm good at and I have experience, like YouTube. I love YouTube, so I'm not insecure about it. I'm just doing whatever. I have a little bit of a thought of, that could be a bad move, or something people don't like, or someone might unsubscribe or not like me for that. But I'm going to say slightly agree, because it's different in real life to online. So I do sometimes feel insecure in life. I don't know. I've just picked that one, okay? I've picked it. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable and sticking to it. Ooh, the sticking to it bit. I'm good at coming up with plans and going, right, today I'm doing this, that and the other. And I'm usually good at sticking to it. Maybe not as quickly as I thought I'd stick to it. But the thing is with my plans is I make bare minimum plans so that things are a bonus if I do them. So I think I'm going to middle agree, because I've never missed a deadline. So I must be doing something right, you know? Being right is more important than being cooperative when it comes to teamwork. No, I think you need to be really cooperative. It's great if you're right, but it's not everything. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless of whether they are supported by facts or not. In terms of opinions, yes, I think that they are all due respect, not necessarily agreeance, but respect, unless they're being an absolute ass. Then you can tell them that they're still entitled to their opinion and it still should be respected, but you are entitled to say, I think that's bullshit, you know? So I'm going to say yeah, but not strongly agree. I'm just middle for diddle, thank you. You feel more energetic. Nice, great words. Okay. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people. dependent on the people. But once I get used to the people and over anxious thoughts, I do feel rejuvenated. Is that the right word? Probably. I'm like, yeah, I have friends. I did it. Woo, life. So I'm going to say yes, but middle yes. Because I'm not completely... It doesn't always make me feel energetic, but it does make me feel a bit more energetic. You frequently misplace your things. Ooh, recently, no. On occasion in the past, yes. So I'm going to say a little bit disagree. Next to Rooney, we are 80% the way there. I know this is a long video. Sorry about it. How long have I been? 34 minutes. Sorry, I shouted that into the microphone because I checked the microphone time. Anyway, you see yourself as very emotionally stable. No, not very. I'm going to say a little bit. Your mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas and plans. Yes. I am someone who recreates conversations in my head and occasionally out loud about things that may not even happen. Usually with conversations, not so much with ideas and plans. But I think it's a primal instinct of my brain preparing for that situation. Even if it's like, what would I do in an apocalypse? Or what should my next video be? So I'm going to say middle agree. Because it's not all the time. Would you not call yourself a dreamer? I am a little bit of a dreamer. But I think I'm more logical about my dreams. So they're realistic dreams. So I'm going to slightly agree. I would not call myself a massive dreamer. You usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. Yes-a-rooney. Why did I say yes-a-rooney? Who knows? If I said that in front of the group of people, then I'd definitely be pooping it. So I do find it difficult to relax in front of many people. But then my brain also says you've got to do this in most cases. So it's not completely agree, but it's pretty much yes. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experience than your imagination. Yeah. A little bit, yeah. You worry too much about what other people think. Whoop! Oui, madame. That is a strong yes. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls, avoiding the centre. Yes, but not loads, you know? If I have to be in the middle, I will be in the middle. I won't try and avoid it. I'll be like, alright, I'm in the middle, okay? You have a tendency to procrastinate until there is not enough time to do everything. No, because I always make sure I have enough time to do everything that I want to do, or the bare minimum of things I have to do. To do everything on a list, you know. I'm going to slightly disagree, because there are occasions where I'm like, oh poo, I haven't edited this video as much as I wanted to today. That sort of thing. You feel very anxious in stressful situations. Ooh, yay. Strongly agree. Yeah. When it's really stressful, actually I might do middle, because when it is, it depends on how stressful and if I've done anything like it before or not. Yeah, I'm like a rabbit in the headlights when it gets very stressful, especially when it's stressful and involves people that I don't know. Then it's like, boop. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. I think it is more. Like I said with the children one, if my child was kind, I think they'll get further in life, or like the same amount in life as being smart, because it is, kindness can get you far in life, and people's other people's opinions on you can help you a lot. So I think a little bit, because it isn't always, because it says being liked by others. There's a difference between being liked and being trustworthy, so I think a little bit, yeah. You have always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things, e.g. in books, arts or movies. I am not a book person, I am not an art person, and I'm not a movie person, even though I love making films. That's the difference between making films and enjoying films. I'm interested in films on a level of what am I trying to say? I like the way it's done and how it's done and the way it's formed and the methods behind it rather than the actual overall thing, which is why I'm really critical of films. Hence why I've done a film review, and I've also done another one in the past that was a bit shitty, but you know, and that's why I'm trying to do more review videos. So I'm going to say a little bit agree, just because of the work that I want to go into. I sort of have to be in the movies bit, not so much in books and art. You often take initiative in such social situations. No. Not really. I'm gonna go for slightly disagree. And results. Okay. I'm a defender. That makes sense. It says I am 64% introverted. Makes sense to me. Observant 62%. One way I always describe myself, when people say describe yourself in one word, or 3 words, or whatever words, I always say observant. Because I am very observant. And I don't know if it's because my mind wanders, or whatever, but I remember a lot of things that are really weird. Especially, not so much the weird bit on these, dates and names and faces and voices and weird facts about people. I remember these things. I remember what the weather was like on Tuesday. I remember things. I remember tiny details way further than I probably should be, and I notice a lot of things. I'm more feeling than thinking. I'd say yeah. 68%. Yeah, I can see where they're coming from with that. I like to think about things a lot, but I also care about feelings and stuff. I am 73% judging. Wow, what? I'm not a judging person. Oh, I suppose in decision making. Okay. I am 55% turbulent instead of assertive. Okay, is that good or bad? I don't know. You decide. And yeah, that is pretty me. Yeah. Let's see what some of this says. A skim read. Yeah. Sensitive. Yeah. Excellent analytical abilities. I am a great judge of character. I can look at you and I can go, there's something about that person I don't trust, or I can look at you and go, oh, that person's nice and bubbly but maybe not good under pressure. I don't know why, but Daniela will tell you that I look at people, or I just even see a picture and then I say, this person to me seems like this. Well-developed people skills, robust social relationships. Generally conservative type though. Yeah, that's true. If you want to read more about that, pause the video now. And then, yeah, you can read some of that as well. I'm not going to read any more of that because this video is going to go on for 5 years. But yes, you can take the quiz. I'll leave a link down below if I remember. But yes, if you think that is correct about me, let me know. Let me know what you've got if you've taken the thing. Just let me know things. I want to read some comments. And also, if you liked this and you want me to do something similar to this in the future, push all the buttons, you know what to do, and I will see you later. Goodbye. Once again. And hopefully I'm not an asshole.